All right, good morning. I do see it is 9:30. I'd like to call the meeting of the Human Services Committee to order. Karen, please call the roll.
Here they are.
Chair Swarzy,
Here.
Member Cahill,
Here.
Member Garcia, Member Desart,
Here.
Member Galassi.
Here.
Member LaPlante.
Here.
Yes. Okay, we do have a quorum. I do know that Vice Chair Garcia is not, she's ill, but she's participating via Zoom. So a quorum of the members is physically present. I will entertain a motion to permit those members not physically present due to personal illness, disability, employment purposes, or business of the board, family or other emergency or unexpected child care obligations to participate by video or teleconference. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. You are apart now, Member Garcia. There she is. Okay, good. Do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
Okay, I just wanted to remind this board, I mentioned it at our last meeting, that the Northern Illinois Food Bank will be out here at our next meeting, first Tuesday in March, to discuss how our produce program has been going really for the last 3 years. And we'll discuss some options on moving forward because that program does expire in June of this year. So do we have any comments from our membership right now? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into the agenda. I'll take a motion to approve item 250534, Human Services Committee regular meeting minutes from Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. We had a motion. Do we get a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, thank you. I remember to slow down so I can hear Member Garcia's vote. I'll take a motion to approve FIR 4425, additional appropriation for the 211 Illinois program grant for program year 25 in the amount of $44,972.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you very much. Take a motion to approve HSR 525, recommendation to direct community services block grant loan proceeds from expiring programs to the DuPage Social Services Association, a 501c3 organization, funds to be utilized for direct client assistance.
So moved. Second.
Okay, just gonna have Mary Keating just discuss this a little bit because I had some questions about this.
Okay, so there's some required background on this one because it's a little bit unusual. So I don't know, 10 years ago, something like that, with our CSBG program, we participated in a statewide initiative that provided small business grants. So we provided funds to something called the Illinois Community Ventures Association, which was, like I said, a statewide affiliation of community action agencies who sort of pooled resources for business loans. Fast forward a couple of years, the federal government told the state of Illinois that that was not an appropriate use of CSBG funds. And so there was a whole lot of back and forth. The state finally settled with the feds. None of our organizations were on the hook for anything because we were doing something that the state told us that we could do. And I will say, these were not inappropriate loans. They weren't loans that went to businesses that didn't exist. It was not a fraudulent program. They helped a lot of small businesses get off the ground. There was a lot of success that came from it. It was just a matter of eligibility of how to use those funds. So Illinois Community Ventures now has some funds that came back as the loan payments and are working through returning those funds to the organizations that provided those CSBG funds in the first place. So these are loan proceeds. This is not, it's not a return of our CSBG funds. It's a return of the proceeds that came from the interest payments, the payments that came back from businesses. So each organization, and these funds are scrubbed from federal requirements. So it's basically, if we were a nonprofit, and many of the organizations that are getting these funds back are nonprofit organizations, they can literally do anything they want to with it. If they want to give their staff bonuses, if they want to renovate their offices, if they want to buy a car for the organization, they can do anything they want to with it. So we talked about what we wanted to do with these funds, which is going to be about $57,000. So we want to use these funds for direct client assistance. And so for small amounts of assistance to individuals who maybe fall through the cracks, aren't eligible for other programs, or have a particular need that we can't assist with any of our other existing funds. So we have a mechanism for that, and it's called DSSA. It's a 501c3 that we have attached to the department. It's been around for 35 years, probably. It was here when I started. And the impetus for the original establishment of DSSA, I'm getting way into history here. So DSSA was originally established so that organizations that wanted to sort of help the county help people could make tax deductible donations to be able to utilize funds for client assistance. There was the major source of revenue for DSSA years ago was JCPenney used to have a volunteer recognition lunch every year. Our staff managed it because we're the volunteer center. And then in exchange for that, JCPenney would make a donation to DSSA rather than sort of paying us for the staff time. So that JCPenney thing went away a long time ago. And then we used to fund DSSA with employee donations. So when we were part of the United Way campaign, when people could, do payroll deduction and have, a certain amount of money go to United Way or to People's Resource Center, people would direct funds, employees would direct funds. So it was always employee funds. There's never been any county funding into DSSA. It's always been private donations. The United Way campaign went away. We used to do a chili cook-off, ice cream social, those kinds of things to try and raise funds. We've participated in Giving DuPage days. But over time, the balance at DSSA has dwindled because we just don't have a revenue source. So when Gina informed me that we were going to be getting these proceeds back, I said, well, and her thought was, we'd really like to use it for direct client assistance. So the option was, well, we get it back into the whole county system. We don't really have a mechanism. We don't have a line item for this sort of miscellaneous client assistance. We do if they're participants in the family self-sufficiency program, but there's very strict parameters around there. So we really thought, well, the best way to do this would be if those proceeds could just go directly to DSSA. Now, full disclosure, I'm the president of DSSA. The other members of the board are county employees from both from community services, from WorkNet, and from the treasurer's office. The treasurer of DSSA is he works in the treasurer's department. So we have clear oversight. Finance handles all the checks, and what we end up doing a lot with these funds is gas cards, jewel cards, Target cards, those kinds of things. When somebody walks in and has immediate needs, we'll give them some gas cards to get to a job interview, or some Target cards or jewel cards to get some food on their table. So we worked extensively with the state's attorney and finance to figure out what's the best way, what needs to be in the resolution, what's the best way to do this. So long story short, that's what long story, not so.
Short story
Yeah,
long.
short story long, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, a couple questions. First of all, feel good that you're in charge of it. That makes me, I was gonna ask, who's the oversight? Who's reviewing this? If you are in charge,
Mhm.
that makes me feel really good.
I sign all the checks.
That sounds great. What's the balance now in that DSSA?
I should look that up. Probably somewhere between 30 and 40,000.
Okay. And then is this, my only question is, obviously based on the fact that you transferred it over, is this a priority for you? Do you feel like there is somewhere else in community service, this 59,000 should go? Food insecurity or something else? This is based on, we don't know what's coming. Also, we could be short funds going forward.
Mhm.
Is this something we need to do right now? Should we wait and see what we're doing to
Well,
make sure you have enough money for the
well, I
regular
guess-
programs?
Two things. So we can't really wait because ICVA is being dissolved and they have
Okay.
to come up with some.
Okay.
So we don't, from a timing perspective. And I would say, is this a priority as opposed to food insecurity? The reason it's a priority is because it's direct client assistance. And I know how how valuable it is for our INR staff, our senior staff, our case management staff, when they can give a little bit of help to somebody. I think our maximum amount of assistance is $200 worth of value. I think we can go up to 400 if that's, if there's you kind of need an override on that. So we have pretty strict parameters. So, yeah, we have no idea what's coming down the pike. And so this may be actually an opportunity, if other funds get cut off,
Okay.
we may have more people who aren't eligible for things that we can do now. This is a mechanism to
Okay.
let us do that. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Cahill. Great question.
I just think this is a wonderful program, and I like that it's direct client services,
Mhm.
because there are so many people who just need,
A little bit of
like you
something.
said, gas to get to I met this man who, I actually paid for his hotel for one night, and some other friends gave him their son's clothing, because he only had one set of clothes. And that would have been so nice to get just a little help from a Target gift card to get him a new pair of jeans or something,
Right.
or an overnight stays. Our hotel stays part of this too?
We don't typically
get
help
somebody
with
just
hotels
for
with
one
the
night.
SSA.
Okay.
I don't, right, Gina?
Well, anyway, I think it's a great program, and we should bolster it. Thanks.
Any other questions? I think it's another great avenue to help our most vulnerable residents. So thank you very much for sharing that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, I will take a motion to approve HSR 625, recommendation of approval of a first modification to Community Development Block Grant Agreement with People's Resource Center, Homelessness Prevention Program, clarifying eligible reimbursable direct service staff and adding 3 direct service staff titles to the project scope. We had a motion, a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Take a motion to approve HSR 725, recommendation of approval of a first modification to Community Development Block Grant Agreement with Catholic Charities,
So moved.
Diocese of Joliet Home TDRA Rapid Rehousing Case Management, adding eligible reimbursement costs of 1 additional direct staff to the project scope. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. I'll take a motion to approve FIR 4125, acceptance and appropriation of additional funding for the DuPage Care Center Foundation Funded Projects Fund for the design and architectural services for the Secret Garden Project in the amount of $16,766.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion here? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. I'll take a motion to approve HSP 1125, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order issued to Advocare Systems for rental of medical equipment, beds and mattresses for the DuPage Care Center for the period of March 1st, 2025 through February 28th, 2026 for a contract total amount not to exceed $80,000.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion on HSP 1225, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Alco Sales and Service Company to furnish and deliver Elite X long-term beds for the DuPage Care Center for the period of February 26, 2025 through February 25th, 2026, for a contract total not to exceed $109,192.16.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. I'll take a motion to approve 250535, HSP 18824, amendment to HSP 18824, contract purchase order number 702000001 serve, issued to Nova Staff Healthcare Services for supplemental nursing staff for the period April 13, 2024 through April 12, 2025, to increase encumbrance in the amount of $65,000, resulting in a new amended contract total of $565,000, a 13% increase.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Take a motion on 250536 RCM Technologies contract. This purchase order is decreasing in the amount of $35,000. Monies for Nova Staff Healthcare increase.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Take a motion on 250537, Bright Star Care of Central DuPage contract. This purchase order is decreasing the amount of $30,000. Monies for Nova staff healthcare increase.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Yes.
So these two items, when that happens, explain to me how this works. So if the contract, the purchase order decreased, we allocated that amount of money for that purchase order, and now it's down $35,000. So, and another 30,000, so
65, yeah.
65. So where does that money go?
And I'm gonna let
Does
Janelle
it go
answer. She's
back
online, but it
into-
looks like we just voted on the increase of $65,000 up on item 8D, but go ahead, Janelle.
Oh,
So we're contracted with the agencies, and right now Nova staff is the one that's providing us our agency, and the other two are not providing as much agency. So it's just a matter of shifting the dollars to whatever agency is providing what we need.
got it.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you, thank you. We do not have any residency waivers, so I'll turn it over to Janelle Chadwick for DuPage Care Center update.
Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, we went into outbreak. We've
Oh, no.
going in and out, nothing significant. We have 2 residents on 1 unit. And so that, and 1 staff member that does outbreak status. We just do our thing, keep it contained. Then I'm gonna move on to construction unless someone has a question about COVID or isolation. No? Okay. 3 North construction, 3 North is ready to be inspected. We know that the architect waived the inspection because it's the exact same as the floor above that they did inspect. So then it would go on to the clinical portion, which is done by the local IDPH office. So normally when the architect does their inspection, they do what's a green sheet or a notification to the local office to say, hey, now it's your turn, go ahead. That document and that process has not occurred, and we're really trying to figure out where the ball is. I talked with the local office late last week, and they had not received the notification to come in and inspect, and they can't come in and inspect until they receive that notification. So we're working with Springfield to say, hey, you need to move this forward. So we'll get that on the schedule to be inspected. 3 Center should follow with the 90% completion in the next couple of weeks. And so then we'll go through that process with 3 Center. 3 Center is running a little behind. That's the dementia unit. So it's just a little behind 3 North. They started 3 North demo first, so it's not surprising that 3 Center is coming in second. Any questions on construction?
Yes. Member
One
Campbell.
quick question. So you said the architects waived their inspection. Well, I would think even though it's a similar project, I would like them to come in and make sure everything's okay. Why would they waive that?
Because we submitted an immense amount of drawings originally to have this project approved. I mean, it was
Okay.
binders. So they approved the project initially. They just wanted to come in and compare what we submitted to what it looks like. And they know that the model is exactly the same. So this happens pretty frequently in construction projects. So I'm not surprised.
If I could, just so there's no
Non-houses.
confusion here,
Yeah,
we're not talking about our in-house architect.
okay.
We're talking about the state of Illinois, their,
Okay.
their professional
Okay.
their regulation.
Got
We
it.
are doing
Okay.
all of our own inspections.
That's what I was thinking.
I thought that's
Yeah.
where you were going.
Yeah.
This is not our internal architect. We're doing all the punch list, all the inspections, all everything. This is
Okay.
simply the state of Illinois.
Got it. Thank you.
Right. And when they did do 4, they were there less than an hour. So they're just looking at the basic fire prevention, those types of things. So,
It's a state of Illinois. Got it.
Thank you, Janelle.
yep, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I just wanted to comment, we had a successful February 14th Valentine's Day balloon handout. Vice Chair Garcia and myself attended. And I mean, I gotta tell you, the look, it doesn't sound like a big deal. And of course, I know, Member Rutledge is always concerned about the balloons, but I gotta tell you, the look on the residents' faces, it's so joyous. It's
Yeah.
unbelievably joyous. Like if I got a balloon, if you got a balloon, you're like, okay, this is nice, but they really, really, I mean, it means a lot to them. So, thank you again for supporting that. And thank you, Janelle, for always.
Right. Yeah,
Member Rutledge.
I'm working on alternatives. Let me just say that.
Thank
Something is.
May I also suggest that you bring in whatever it is that you like to do? For example, I went in the day before and I played my violin and I brought in a pianist to accompany me and we volunteered our time. So there's things you can do other than
Great.
balloons. They appreciate anything.
Yeah.
So whatever your individual talent or passion is, bring it in there. You don't have to wait for balloons.
we are. Thank you very much. We appreciate you playing. I know they enjoy it. I got to see you the last time and I watched their response. It was great. Music is always a big win. The balloons are great for a multitude of reasons. One's they float, and so if you put them on the end of their bed and they're in bed, they can. We are looking at alternatives. We can't do flowers just because of, allergies and whatnot, and they aren't maintained well by residents, families, or even staff have that ability. So we are looking at alternatives as well. But thank you for recognizing the balloons really do have a significant impact for the residents. Hopefully we can find an alternative.
Real quick, I just want to comment on Member LaPlante. Did you get a picture for anything? It's a wonderful, I didn't see that. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Member Cahill.
Yes, I wanted to say thank you to Member LaPlante because she told me about it ahead of time and I really wanted to go, but I had a conflict with my office that day. But I have a person who I'm in charge of who's at the care center and he was crazy about it. He sent me texts. Why wasn't I there? I was missing it. He really, really appreciated it. So thank you. Thank you, Member LaPlante.
Thank you. Go
He's
ahead, Janelle.
a big fan of any and all music.
Yes, yes.
Member Rutledge.
I'm just gonna say, I've been honing my origami skills because we can make origami flowers. Then you can do bouquets and I'm like, okay, who's gonna fold all of that? But I'm thinking Girl Scout, Boy Scout groups that could do some of that in advance. So we're trying to.
Thank you for brainstorming. Grateful to you.
Member Rutledge.
Okay. All right, on to community services update, Mary Keating.
Yeah, thanks. I want to say thank you to the mystery texter who must be watching on Zoom, who gave me the current DSSA balance. I don't know what number this is from. I said it's somebody in finance, maybe it's from Kincheck, I don't know. The current DSSA balance is basically $35,900.
You were close. Perfect. Thank you.
And on the federal front, obviously, there's a whole lot in the news. We don't have any specific information at this point. A really discouraging thing I heard last week was they're talking about a 50% staff reduction at HUD, which I assume means some absolute program cuts. So, but we have that remains to be seen. On a more positive note today, we thought we would do an update on our outreach efforts. So you might recall that the board authorized a position, a specific outreach person with ARPA funds. Originally, we had a woman named Rabia who was our outreach coordinator, and we have a young man, Brett Curis, who's with us now. Brett has joined us a couple of months ago. He's put together some really great information on our outreach efforts in 2024. And then we want to talk a little bit about 2025 as well. So I'm going to let Brett take it away.
Okay, I have a little handout here for you guys, so watch as I
Thank
awkwardly
you.
run around the room and pass this out to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I like paper.
You know, we had it printed on cardstock. Is there anywhere in particular I should stand? Right here?
Right up here, so they can see you on the.
And that way people on screen can see them too.
Sounds good. So as Mary just introduced me, my name is Brett Curis. I'm the communications specialist for DuPage County Community Services. One of the larger parts of my job is attending outreach events within DuPage County to share all of the services that we have in-house through the county and also our 211 program, which I must say is a huge help to so many people in the community. I cannot tell you how many people have come up to me and other staff members working at these events, and they're so thankful it's there. But our lovely director, Ms. Keating, has asked me to give a little preview of 2025 and just kind of a 2024 summary so you're all up to date. Those handouts are for you to take back. You're more than welcome to reach out to me anytime if you have a question that appears after this little presentation. But with that, we'll start. We're starting on this little blue side with the 2024 summary. So for fiscal year 2024, community services attended a total of 164 events throughout DuPage County. This is awesome. To build off of that, community services shared our information with 6,812 people, and that is purely face-to-face interactions. That does not include things like social media, if we had left our materials somewhere and someone grabbed them, or word of mouth, so that is awesome. Our goal for fiscal year 2025 is to reach 7,000 people through those face-to-face interactions at outreach events. We started off January really strong with over 300 people for just 5 events, and we have a ton of events coming up for the month of March. So I'm really excited to see those numbers spike up, as well as the rest of community services. Rabia Beige, I'm sure you met her when she was employed here. She connected with 141 different organizations for fiscal year 2024. What that really means is each number of those, it could have been first responders, churches, other types of government, parks, park districts, things like that. So that was really good to see. And last year, along with Julie Burdick right over there, the Homeless Management Information Systems Manager, they utilized the Impact DuPage Health Equity Index as a baseline for determining which areas were most in need within DuPage County. As you can see by that little picture with the orange for the county, the Health Equity Index measures socioeconomic needs in correlation with poor health outcomes, so shorter life expectancy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Infant mortality rates and a higher death rates for leading causes of death. So that would include things like disease within DuPage County and the United States. Okay. So going on to our GIS mapping and data research, that bottom section with those 2 pictures, Julie Burdick and I analyzed census data, 211 calls from 2023 and 2024, racial demographics, 2024 and 2023 INR calls, and the Health Equity Index to see which areas were the most need of our services. When we cross-reference that with that GIS map you see on the right, it really helped us determine which areas in DuPage County were being hit and which ones were going to need more focus from us for fiscal year 2025. This is a large expansion of last year's data. A lot of the stuff we did not include things like racial demographics, the comparison of the 211 and the INR calls. So this really helped us get a scope outside of just the Health Equity Index to see which areas were really in need. Like for example, as you can see on the picture, Downers Grove isn't rated super highly on the Health Equity Index, but they still had a significant increase of influx of 211 calls. So obviously Downers Grove, for example, would be an area that we'd like to put some of our efforts because they have a clear need, and we'd like to expand upon that as well.
What's the stars?
Those stars are each outreach event that community services attended. Okay, with that, you can flip to the back side, to the purple side. So now moving on to our 2025 plans and goals. Joan Olson over here actually gave me the idea to work within county resources. This is a really smart idea that really hasn't been implemented super well. 211 and community services, marketing materials might be in like the lobby, but we're really trying to connect with different departments within the county. For example, I've connected with probationary services, and I will be leading trainings for their over 135 different officers. If you didn't know, probation sees about 4,000 people that come through them every year. So those officers are going to be able to point the people that they serve in the direction of community services for the in-house programs that we have here and 211 as well, which is also going to help us hit our goal of about 8,500 calls this year for 211. We'd like to locate and attend more outreach events in neglected areas. So one of these, like Wooddale, Warrenville, they were rated high on the Health Equity Index. We also saw they had a big influx of 211 calls, but there weren't very many outreach events that we had attended there in the previous years. So obviously there's a need. So we're really trying to get into more events out there. That leads me to my next point, which is something called creative outreach efforts. This would be sitting in high traffic areas such as libraries, laundromats, cafes, restaurants, and just handing out information to people as they come. As I found through my research, along with my lovely coworkers over there, some townships are just really small and they don't hold a whole ton of outreach events. So this is a really good way for us to get out into the community and still give our resources out if people are unable to travel to, let's say, Wheaton for an outreach event and get all the resources from all the different organizations there. We also have a rough quarterly breakdown as well. A lot of it is really just the same. It's creating new contacts and following up with previous contacts. For part of the position, Rabia Beige had made a list of contacts of everyone she connected with for the year of 2024. I've been reaching back out to them to try and go to events that she attended in the past and hopefully have those same people connect me to new events that we may not have attended in the past as well. Like I said, I've already established connections with probationary services. I'm currently working on animal services, the public defender's office, social workers, the regional office of education, to hopefully be able to work with them. If you have any questions about my specific ideas for them, please ask. I'd be more than happy to answer. When it starts to get warmer out, I want to say May, and then for those summer months, that's when we're going to start those creative outreach efforts. I'm not gonna lie, if I had to sit outside today, outside of a library, I would be very unhappy. No one would come and grab materials for me outside. So I figured it would be a little more smarter to start that when more people are trafficking outdoor areas, and therefore I can sit there, hand out materials, get more people to see what we offer. And lastly, for September through November, at the end every year, the communication specialist and Julie Burdick, we put together a little data report. We see what worked, see what didn't, see if our ideas worked, what can we expand upon, what should we continue, and what do we kind of need to cut out if it's not working or if it's becoming futile or repetitive. Like I said, we have a goal of about 7,000 people that we'd like to reach, so we're going to try and roughly do 1,750 people per quarter. Hopefully we can get more. Obviously, the more people we reach, the better that's going to be. And lastly, one of the biggest county resources is you guys. If anyone's going to know the districts in and out, it's going to be you. There's only so much research I can do. We need real-time experience. People have lived in these districts. People have traversed them, campaigned them. So if you guys are knowing of events in your districts, if you know places that are high in need or frequented by people who are in need, that would be a great thing to connect with me on, and I can connect with you on, because those are things I can drop off materials, sit outside, maybe even put up a little impromptu event. We really want to help people on an individual level. And with you guys, we can really get down to a street by street level and really target areas of need.
Excellent. I just want to say in Addison, they have Rockin' Wheels. And that's like every Friday night, but they have so many tables and community service things out there. That would be perfect for you to be out there at Rockin' Wheels in Addison.
Awesome. I know Rabia attended a few of those, and I'm trying to get into, if you've heard of the National Night Out events.
Yeah, so that's in Addison too. That's excellent.
I know almost every township has those National Night Out events. Rabia attended one or two. I'm gonna try to get into as many as I possibly can. A lot of places do outdoor concerts as well. Hopefully over the summer, I'll be attending a few in Warrenville, and other townships. West Chicago, yeah.
Bentonville has it too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Brett, what is your last name?
Curious, Kuras.
Kuras.
Yes, ma'am.
Kuras. Because I'm thinking of events too, like Neighbor Pride is coming up with a fest in September, and it'd be great to have you out there.
Yeah.
So you're just Brett.Kuras at DuPage County Gov.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other
Mary, could I
questions?
ask you, could you send Brett's contact information to the
Oh,
entire
thank you, Nick.
committee? That'd be great. So
Yeah.
You're gonna get inundated with.
And I do want to say to this,
Email who this. That's how he's gonna respond.
I want to comment to this committee that now, and I probably owe you an apology. I think it's either bi-weekly or maybe it's weekly, I don't know, but I get reports from Brett and Rabia previously on the events that are coming up. And does anyone else get those, or is it just me?
I can get those.
Everyone gets
I
them.
send those. I was like, oh.
You send them to
Yeah.
this entire committee?
Yes, we all get them.
Okay, so you see those, if you see something in your area, feel free to attend. I know that I've been to West Chicago a few times on events out there when we're sending people out there, so.
Yeah, and some of the event titles are really kind of vague or don't really explain a whole ton about the event. So you're more than welcome to reach out to me and kind of ask for a brief description or a flyer, anything like that of the event if you wanted more information. And I'd be more than happy to provide that to any of you.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm glad you're here because I do get those emails and I wasn't exactly sure what was happening. So now it's all kind
Well,
of putting
coming
it
together.
together. Yeah. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem. You'll actually get an email from me in about an hour when I go draft it up when I get back to my office.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for having me. And like I said, if you have any questions that pop up outside of this, please feel free to reach out to me and I'd be more than happy. Yes, sir.
Does your email go to the committee or to the entire board?
It goes to the entire board. Yes,
Oh, so everybody gets it.
yes, sir. Nice to meet you. Thank you. It was nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you
me
very
again.
much.
I appreciate it.
Presentation, thank
Well,
you.
I just want to thank Brett. There's not a lot of county employees who, having been here, less than 6 months, right?
Yeah, I've been here for 2.
Yeah, 2 months.
Dive right in.
Seriously? Only 2 months? Oh, wow. I mean, how impressive is that to just, to put together material and ask to present to the Human Services Committee. So I just want to thank you for.
Thank you.
Well, so far the probationary period is working out.
I'm really doing my best.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you so much.
Anything else?
No,
Mary, for
nothing else
community
for me.
services? Thank you.
Thanks.
Do we, any other questions for Mary just before she says that? Go ahead, Dawn.
Oh, okay. Mary, I know that I wasn't here the last meeting 2 weeks ago, so maybe you already discussed this, but I don't know what it's called, but you know that night that people go out and, count
One night,
homeless
yeah,
people?
the homeless one night count.
Yeah, so you might have gone through that last time, but, the numbers won't really mean that much to me, but I'm wondering, are we up? Are we down? Where are we in the homeless community? Are
We are up.
unhoused?
We're definitely up. Yeah, I mean, that's nationwide, numbers
Okay.
in 2024, we're up 30%. So,
Wow. Are we up
our
30%
numbers,
too?
well, our numbers are preliminary. So once all of the volunteers turn in their information, our staff has to go through and sort of make sure that people aren't double counted. And so they're still in the process of doing that. Julie, do you have any idea when we'll have those final numbers?
By the end of the month, between
Okay.
sheltered and unsheltered
Yeah.
now.
Right, because it's sheltered and unsheltered, so we need information from all of the homeless service providers to know, how many folks they had that night, so.
And so then do we have a plan of action? Do we then go out and give the one call, cards to people?
Well, anybody who was encountered that night would have gotten,
Oh, good.
gotten information, would have, been, I believe they had the opportunity to be brought to shelter if they were unsheltered, correct?
Yes, there was only a couple who took them up on that.
Yeah, but that's part of it, and the volunteers, they'll have some snacks, some personal care items, some, gift card or two, and so anybody who's encountered gets information and then gets a little bit of resources.
Thank you.
Member Dusty?
I was actually
Okay.
under whole business, so I was kind of jumping.
Oh, okay, stand by. Anything else for Mary?
Yes, okay. I guess this is not, whatever. So for Northern Illinois Food Bank, can you make sure we have the numbers on how much we've given them? Because that always makes me, understand where we are with that. So if we
Yes,
bring
for
that to
sure.
them.
Thank you. Okay, other old business?
Yeah, so, for the small grant program, I saw it's launched, so the portal's open, correct? I had asked, I just want to make sure that information was sent to all the mayors and managers. Has that been done? I want to make sure we're,
Yes, all of our
Getting-
news releases go to mayors and managers. This
Okay.
was sent as a news release.
okay,
And I also talked to, Suzette about it the last time I saw her.
Good.
okay, and then,
It
perfect, thank
also
you.
goes to all of the municipal communicators. I double hit them. One to the mayor and manager, one to the municipal communicator.
Okay, excellent, thank you. And then, can you just remind me what the deadline is for that? It's just. so I know.
April 5th? 4th?
April 4th.
Very good.
Oh, there you are. April 4th. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You trust me, you didn't believe me?
Thank you.
April 4th.
Could we just get, I know a lot of people apply like right at in the 11th hour, but maybe at the next meeting, could we just get an update if anyone from each district has applied?
Quantity
I
of
just want to
applicants so far.
try to make sure our district has more.
3 so far?
Yeah.
I will tell you,
So far.
last year, it was seriously the last.
Yeah.
Okay.
50%,
So-
50% came in the last day.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
you
typical
will,
of
you
any
have 3
grant.
now, and you will have all of them the last week.
Is one of them Elmhurst Center for Performing Arts?
I don't think it's applied.
So you keep telling.
I was actually talking to an applicant last night who I know from Carroll Stream, and she's telling me, because I keep turning this in, I'm working on it, I've been working on it, I should have it done in a few days. So, if you have people that
Yeah.
give them a little shove.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
any other old business? I do have quick old business, and Gina, I just signed a letter to the Senate leader about 211 funds. Is there anything you can explain on what we're asking for from the state? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Wow.
Sure, Greg. 211, has been not funded well by the state, so, and we're asking for funding for 211 because as you know, next year, the funding from ARPA ends. So advocacy days are next week, and we've been asked to provide some information for the advocacy days. So Greg was nice enough to sign a letter to the Senate leader. So we are asking for funding. This year we received $57,000, which is a small drop in the bucket. And that should cover advertising, staff costs, a myriad of things. So we need a lot more money than $57,000 to cover 211.
And we are funded through 2026?
We are funded through ARPA ends
2026.
2026.
November.
Okay.
And if you're saying 57,000 is a drop in the bucket, what would be ideal? What do you need per year, for example,
5 million to cover the state.
per year?
What about DuPage County?
211 budget, the 211 budget? I couldn't guess off the top of my head. A couple $100,000 in that range at least.
We need money, it's bottom line.
Okay.
More than 57,000.
And again, thank you very much for sharing. Any new business? Without objection, we're adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody.